So you might like to just start by bringing attention underneath the feet and maybe just shifting weight from one foot to the other. You might like to lift all 10 toes off the ground. Maybe imagining yourself as the bamboo plant gently swaying in the wind. Bamboo has deep roots into the ground. When you're ready, take your toes back down, press into the toes, maybe roll back into the heels. Let's notice this feeling of letting go of control, letting go of mind having to be in control, and take your attention way down to the bottom of the body. So there's an acupressure point called the bubbling spring. It's kind of underneath the ball of your feet. You might take your attention underneath that, pressing down. Start every practice in this idea of wuji. Wuji translates as kind of nothingness or no thingness, no specific thing, allowing, adapting, yielding. Let's turn our palms. We're going to take a breath as we lift up, reaching up. And at the top of the breath, turn the palms and sigh out. And just when your next breath comes, lift again. And letting go. And one more time. Let's warm up some of our joints for practice today. We'll start with fingers, just stretch them out any direction you like. You might like to roll the wrists. Shake them out. Let's move to our elbow. We're going to turn our palm to face up and then take it to face down behind the back. And see if you can find a bit of a flowing movement, shifting your weight maybe a little. Elbow comes up, maybe elbow drops down. You might like to try both sides. Just warming up our joints, finding how we can most naturally send energy back from the extremities of our body, fingers and toes, back towards our organs, our heart, our kidneys, our liver, spleen and stomach. All right, let's shake it out again. Let's move up to our shoulder joints. So much tension here. Roll the shoulders. You might like to take your hands to your shoulders, lift the elbows, big wide circles. And maybe a big shrug. Lift the shoulders right up to the ears and drop it down maybe 2 more times. And last one. And shake it out. Let's take one arm down the side of the body and just let heavy arm can maybe hang. Notice where you have any tension, tightness. Let's go the other way. Deep sigh. Let's do one more time each direction. And then we'll take our hands behind the head and just drop one elbow down, one elbow up. Feel that strong sensation down the side of the body. One more time each way. Let's take a twist. One arm out, both arms out. We'll take one arm in front, one arm behind. Notice if you're turning at your waist or your hips, you might like to keep your hips, the hip bones facing the front as you roll the waist back. Lower body stable and steady. And sighing out. Let's do some work with our neck. Let's take a big nod of no, chin to the shoulder. And then all the way around. Maybe one more time each way. And then we'll meet back in the center. Big nod of yes. Try and move with the breath. We'll meet back in the center. Let's keep our shoulder heavy. Drop our ear down towards the shoulder. You might like to extend the opposite arm, just let it hang. Take a breath here. And come back to the center. And then same on the other side, ear towards shoulder, extending the arm. And slowly coming back. Let's take hands to hips, rolling the hips. Maybe changing direction. And then we'll bring our legs together, feet together, cup the knees and just small circles. And then slowly coming back up, we might bring hands back to hips. Let's lift one heel and roll the ankle. And then over to the other side. And back to the center. All right, we'll come back to this standing position. Let's just get into our general standing position, and you might like to bend the knees just a little. Back of the knees are soft. And tuck your tailbone under so our spine is long. Just notice how your body feels as you do this. You might feel some of your leg muscles switch on a little. We'll let our arms be heavy down by the side of the body. So today, our main part of our Qigong practice is going to be the Shavasha 18 forms, but then we'll also do a few other things to follow. But we'll start where we are. First form of Shavasha. Let your arms be heavy. Feel a little bit of a gap between arm and body. We need the chi to flow through the meridian lines in our body. When you feel the next breath, you might just sigh it out, empty out, sink down. When your breath in comes, float the arms up. Sinking, sighing, crown of the head lifting. So we're letting each breath come, each breath go. No tension in the shoulders. You might like to take your attention right in the center of your wrist, your Laogong point, drawing chi from the earth. You get earth from the food we eat, the air we breathe, the earth beneath us. All right, let's move into our second form, opening, allowing, and then sighing out, emptying out. See if you can keep your hands in the periphery of your vision, not trying to crack open our chest so much, but we're inviting in this sense of new learning, new energy, new ideas, new identity. And maybe letting go of something that we don't need anymore, whatever it might be. Our third form, let's bring the palms up in the center of the body. And then we turn one foot out and just open the side body. Inhale to come back up to center. Turn the other foot out, open the side body. Just let your body ease into this. This is our gallbladder meridian. This is a wood element form opening through the meridian line in our body, where in Chinese medicine it's believed we hold anger and frustration, irritation, moodiness. So just feel that sense of connection with shoulder, hip, whole side of the body open. And then we're going to sigh out, sinking down, arms heavy. Next breath comes, lift the palms, cross them at the wrists. We're lifting up, welcoming in. And then sighing out, just like the other form. Keep the hands in the periphery of your eye vision. So it doesn't have to be a big movement. Spine stays straight, feet stay heavy to the ground. This one is usually called separating the clouds. You might like to think of all the busyness of your mind as clouds just hanging above your head. You gather up all the restless energy and you sigh it out. Maybe finding that clear blue sky of our true self. Part of us that never changes no matter what happens to us. The next form, we draw the elbows into the side of the body, turn the palms up, take a breath. As you sigh out, one hand comes back, and then bend the elbow, draw the hand in. We're gathering up restless mind energy this time, and we're pushing it out. Now we rotate. We're following the other hand back, drawing it in. Sighing out, pushing out. As one palm turns, the other palm turns towards it. This is yin and yang, good and bad, high and low, rich and poor, happy and sad, all creating, controlling, transforming each other. Yin and yang, everything in our lives. And we use our practice not to move necessarily towards good or happy or high. We just acknowledge both energies will exist and we move towards harmony, towards balance. Eyes stay on the fingers, following the fingers. Hips are rotating. Hips are the steering wheel of the body, giving us direction. What seed will we plant today? All right, this time we're going to keep our sigh going, bend the knees, drop the tailbone down, whole body comes down, doesn't matter how low. And then when your next breath comes, lift up, sighing out, sinking down. Into each breath. See if you can give it all the time it needs. Don't have to be in sync with me. You can just listen to your own body. Take a break anytime you might need it. Most important thing with all Qigong practice is to just listen to the messages of your body. This is how we start to maybe just live a little more skillfully instead of denying the messages of our body or ignoring them. We become a little more in tune with them. All right, when the next breath comes now, we're going to take one palm, lift it up across the body, and then sweep it back. The palms will cross, and we'll turn and lift. This one is usually called lifting a mountain or something like that. So you might imagine sometimes lifting a sun. Imagine a heavy weight on your palm. Eyes follow the fingers again. Notice that your chin moves in line with the chest. We're keeping our lower body stable, but our upper body is becoming more flexible, more adaptable. So we combine stability, dependability, strong ankles, knees, flexible hips, with this idea of allowing and yielding and being in the flow of life all around us. Meeting back in the center, let's sweep our arms in front of the body. Imagine like you might be hugging a tree. We'll take a breath, drop the shoulders, drop the elbows. We're going to turn, sighing out. Sweep the arm, inhale. Exhale as you twist. See if you can keep your hands aligned with the heart, eyes aligned with the hands. So we're not sweeping our arms too far away in big motion. We're allowing our body to stack and support itself, head over shoulder, over hips, over ankles. We're sighing out as we roll back. As we roll back to the center, let's turn our palms towards each other, not touching. Take a breath in. And as we sigh out, tuck one elbow in, push the other hand across. Keep the back straight. Inhale, draw back to the center, sigh out, push across the other side. We want our push to be the push from not the shoulder, but from the hip. This one's usually called pushing the mountain. So we want that strength and stability from the lower body to enable us to have the great power to push a mountain over. Possibly not possible, but we do these practices to hone our attention. Maybe these movements become the inclination of our body later in the day. Let's bring our right arm in front of the body. So hand to heart. Lower hand is down towards the waist, and we're just going to turn. This one, just allow your breath to come and go. When you can't twist anymore, switch the hands. And we're looking for the guidance of the twist to come from our hip joint. When our hip stops turning, then we switch. This one usually called cloudy hands by the lake. Again, you might like to feel like hand is connected to the heart. This is the level of the cloud, and head is sitting serenely above, just like a plane flying above the clouds. Maybe looking down on all, unaffected. Can you relax the neck, the shoulders, the elbow, the wrist? The poet Rumi said, "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final." So just notice that idea that no emotion stays with us. No thought stays with us. Everything comes and goes. Feeling is final. We're going to step one leg in front and come into what's called a bow stance. So our front knee is stacked over the ankle. And without leaning too far, keep the crown of your head towards the sky. We're going to scoot down, gather in. And then as we lift up, we're going to sigh out, leaning into the back leg. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, letting go. Give each time, each breath, all the time it needs. Shift your weight into the back body. We're going to step back and then straight to the other side. Same movement, bow stance to start, scooping down. And shifting the weight to the back leg, stepping back. We'll go to switch again. This time, hands in close to the body, elbows in. We're going to push out as we sigh out. When the next breath comes, draw it into the body. Sigh out, push out. Shift the weight in the back of the body. Step back, switching sides. When you're ready, pushing out, sighing out. Leaning back, rolling back. One more bow stance form. This one we're going to set up, and then when we're ready, open and lean back, and then sigh out. Shift your weight to the front leg. Again, see if you can keep your hands in the periphery of the eyes. Don't need to draw the shoulder blades in too tight. We don't want to invite any unnecessary tension into the body. Leaning back, stepping back. And last time, whenever you're ready. Leaning back. And feet come back under the shoulders. Back of the knees soft, tailbone tucks under again. This time we're going to roll our elbows into the side and take some loose fists into the side of the body. Press down through the feet. Make sure you feel stable and steady as you breathe in. When you sigh out, push one fist out. Curl the thumb back in. Inhale, draw it into the body. Now we push out. So we're trying to find this sense of letting go as we extend from the body. This is, of course, preparation for a martial arts form, but think of it more as just protecting our body from toxins and pathogens rather than trying to lash out. We always have a choice of what environment we place ourselves in, what we choose to give our attention to. Nobody can control our mind, even though we often convince ourselves that technology or television or someone is controlling us. It's always our choice what we let in, what we give our attention to. So you might just sigh out a little more habit energy, draw in new. And as we come in, let's take both arms wide. Feet stay on the ground, but let your upper body be heavy, light as a feather. So legs are heavy, arms are light. Allowing each breath all the time it needs. All right, let's take both arms down and just follow all the way around. Just eyes following the fingers, turning the palms. We inhale as we lift. Sigh out as we sink. Doesn't matter how low you go, we're not trying to get anywhere. And changing direction. And this time slowly curling up. We're going to lift knee and opposite hand. And just shift your weight from side to side. Let the arms stay heavy. And then we arrive back at center, gather in our last chi from the earth beneath, draw it into the body, store it in the body. Take a new breath. As you do this final form, just notice feeling throughout the body, sense of stability, maybe feeling of oxygen running through the blood. Everything connected in our body. Drawing the palms back onto the lower belly, this dantian part, center of gravity. Just bring your attention underneath the palms. Maybe with your next breath, your belly expands into the palms. And you might not be aware of it, but when you become still, many things happen in the body. Our heart rate slows, our blood pressure usually drops. Our body's immunity switches on, protecting us from illness. Our body's digestion and metabolism starts to work. So I think the more things we do, the more we achieve, but often we just keep going in the same circles, doing the same things, same habits. You might like to just honor a moment here in stillness, moving away from all the doing and arriving at this idea of not doing. This is the Taoist idea of wu wei, or effortless action. So we'll finish our practice by bringing our hands together, create some heat. And then you might like to just let your arms be heavy, roll your shoulder and hip a little so you feel your arms knock against the body. A little bit of extra stimulation for stomach and spleen, for liver and kidneys. And then we'll slowly let our arms come back. We'll draw our hands to heart center. Let's acknowledge our choice to be here to practice today. Everything we practice grows stronger. And then, of course, we'll bow to each other, acknowledging the shared energy of practicing with each other.